What is the mechanism that the built-in function open uses to encode and decode file names? I have a little confusion about open. I'm running Windows 10, when I call sys.getFileSystemEncoding I get MVCS, so if I pass the file name to open, for example. Supposedly, the encoding for the source file is UTF-8. Does open encodes the file name meow.txt with MVCS encoding, which is set to the default Windows ANSI code page, and then passes the requests to the OS? Generally speaking, what happens when you pass filename to open as Unicode in 2.x and str in 3.x? Is it true when the filename is passed as a bytes object in 3.x or str in 2.x, overrides the default automatic encoding of the filename?
Here's what happens internally when using the built-in open in 2.7 to be precise. Python sets a constant that names the default encoding of filenames. This constant is called pi_filesystemDefaultEncoding and varies per platform. Ultimately, when its value is set to null, Python will try to get the default encoding of the platform if there's any. pi_filesystemDefaultEncoding uses MVCS, multi-byte character set, Windows encoding. You can check the value of pi_filesystemDefaultEncoding using sys.getFileSystemEncoding call. Python 2.7 documentation, sys.getFileSystemEncoding on Windows NT+, file names are Unicode natively, so no conversion is performed. GetFileSystemEncoding still returns MVCS, as this is the encoding that applications should use when they explicitly want to convert Unicode strings to byte strings that are equivalent when used as file names. So for example, let's assume when a file name with Chinese characters, for simplicity I'm going to use U+5F08 Chinese chess CJK for the file name that I'm going to write. Generally speaking, what happens when you pass filename to open as Unicode in 2.x and str in 3.x? This answer is platform dependent. For instance, in Windows, there's no need to convert Unicode strings to any encoding, not even with the default file system encoding MVCS, to prove that. By the way, even if you use UTF-8 encoding, you'll not get the correct filename. This will give you a ring1/4.txt filename if you check that on Windows instead of .txt. In conclusion, there's no conversion for Unicode filenames apparently. I think this rule applies to str too. Since str in 2.x is a raw byte string, Python won't pick encoding magically. I cannot verify this however, and it might be possible that Python will decode str with MVCS encoding. It's possible to verify that I believe by using characters outside MVCS code page's character set, but this is again will depend on your Windows locale settings. So much is encapsulated at the lower level in Windows implementation. If memory serves, I think MVCS now is considered legacy for Windows APIS. Python 3.6 uses UTF-8 instead, unless the legacy mode is enabled. Really though, it seems the issue is deep into Windows APIS and their implementation, rather than the implementation of Python itself.